Good afternoon and welcome back to another video with a guy and his projects. Today we are working on the 2006 Jeep Commander. I like this Jeep. I just bought it not that long ago. It has a host of problems I've been working through, some of it on video, some of it not. It's got a lot of electrical issues. Not videoing most of that because I'm bored looking for electrical problems, which means I don't feel like doing a video. But we're making our way through it. You probably seen already that we did a oil change on it with some cleaning agent. Check that out in the video. We've also done the rear brakes already because when I bought it those were absolutely destroyed, so check out that video. Now we are doing the front brakes and rotors today. Should be a pretty simple one. Actually, I know it is. I already did my passenger side, and my 8-year-old did the majority of it, minus breaking some bolts loose. So if my 8-year-old can do it with my instruction, you guys can as well. Speaking of my instruction, I'm not a certified mechanic by any means. I just fix cars my way. Whether it's the right way or not, don't know, but I've never had one break after I've fixed it, and I've never had a problem after I've done something. So for what it's worth, that's where I'm at. Follow me at your own discretion. So, front brakes. We are using these guys right here. I'm not typically a drilled and slotted rotor guy, but if you watch the back brakes video, I use the same set. So I'm just keeping it consistent with the front. So the same brand, same model in the back goes on the front for me because that's the way I am. So these are going on the front. I will link these down below. Remember, if you click on one of my links and buy stuff thereafter before clicking on somebody else's link or waiting overnight, I make a little commission on it, which goes into my bank account, which helps me continue making these videos. One, it helps fund them. Two, it keeps me motivated to keep making them for you. Moral of the story, click link, buy stuff. I keep posting, so thank you guys very much for continuing to do so. All right, so we don't really need a whole lot. The hammer, we just needed to jounce the passenger side loose a little bit. Caliper spreaders, you can also use a C-clamp, impact just to pull the tire off, wire brush just to clean the rust off, a little pry bar to pull the caliper off, a little pick to pull the O-ring off, a 14 and a 21 millimeter socket with a ratchet, and then just some brake grease, some anti-seize, some brake clean, and some penetrating lubricant. I don't actually think I used on the other side. So anywho, that's what I have, and that's what we're going to do. I have a 2-post lift. I'm going to use it, just like in every other video. I spent a lot of money on it. I'm using it. But all you need is a floor jack and a jack stand. Jack this up, secure it, and you only need one tire at a time. So easy peasy. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and lift this thing up to a comfortable working position and get started. Also, before you get too carried away, go under your hood and release the brake fluid reservoir cap. I also sucked a little fluid out because you're going to be pushing the caliper piston back into place, which is going to push fluid up to the reservoir. You want that fluid to be able to go somewhere, so have the cap off so that there's not as much pressure, as well as enough room for that fluid to go into the reservoir. So if your reservoir is already flat topped out, you want to vacuum some of that out, suck it out, turkey baster, however you want to do that to make a little bit of room. You don't need a lot, you need a little. I already did that, I just forgot to mention it. So now I'm going to pull the tire off. Tire off. Hi-yo. Okay, this is a pretty simple job. This is your caliper. This is your caliper bracket. Both of those are coming off so we can get to the rotor. The rotor is not bad, but it's also not great. And I just put the rears on brand new a couple weeks ago, so I'm putting new ones on the front too. That's just what I like to do. Okay, so we're gonna start with removing the caliper first. So there's a 14 millimeter here, and then there's another one down right here, and both those are gonna come off. All right, so our 14 mils, we're gonna hit this one here, just break it loose. And we're gonna go to the bottom and we're gonna break that one. Can you guys still see now that we twisted? Oh goody, you can. So now we're gonna do this one. In fact, I don't know, keep you in the center of your screen, I guess. So once you get to a point, oh, we can pull that guy out, and man, she's crusty. Oh, let's pull this guy out. She do not want to come out. Come out and play, would ya? Yeah, I don't know what somebody used, but somebody used something on them bolts. Them there bolts. Alright, now we're going to pull the caliper off, however that comes off for you. It needs to come kind of straight because of the slide pin retainers. For some reason they got hung up pretty bad on the driver's side, or the passenger side. But alright, we're going to just kind of hang this somewhere where it'll fall when we beat on the rotor here in a little bit. But right now it just needs to go somewhere. Preferably not hanging on the brake hose, but I'm not opposed to it. Really? Oh, it's set right in on the other side. Alright, so this is a good time while it's mounted. You can check your slide pins. So these ones are free. This one's pretty stiff, but it's still free. But we're going to pull these pins out. I'll just do it now while you're on camera. We're going to pull these out. We're going to clean these up really good. We're going to clean up the inside of these bores real good, and then re-grease them before they go back in. So in the meantime, however, we're going to take our brake pads. We're going to pull these out. These are actually fairly thin. The passenger side are pretty thick. You're going to want to pull your hardware off here, your sliding hardware for your pads. There's one on the bottom, and there's one on the top. There it is. Okay. Now we got two, I think this is a 21. Yep, 21 millimeter bolts, one here, and that'll let this whole entire bracket off and we can pull the rotor. Ugh. Okay, we're just gonna break these loose, and then I changed my mind on the process. Ugh. Alright, there we go. Alright, before we pull that off, because this makes such a good shelf, we're going to address the caliper over here first. Like so. So, I want to just kind of spray some brake clean on here. Use a toothbrush, clean all this up. Don't want no dirt on here. Put a little penetrating lubricant on here. Alright, now we're going to put our caliper compressor tool in here. And we're going to spread these pistons. Again, your brake cap, fluid cap on the reservoir needs to be open because you are pushing fluid up into that reservoir right now. Okay, once you get that seated, we'll break this loose. And yes, I can link this tool down below. Yeah. Now we can go set this over here out of the way again. I just like to do that now rather than later for whatever reason I like to. Alright, back to these 21 millimeter bolts. We're going to get the bottom and top one off. We already broke them loose, remember? There's one. Hold your bracket when your bolt gets close to coming out so you don't drop that. There's two, and your bracket comes off like so. Now, like I said, I want to clean up in here really good. You can either pop the boot off and use a little Q-tip and get in there, or if you're lazy like me, I'm going to take a crap ton of brake clean, and I'm going to spray it in there, let it sit for a second, and then I'm going to dump it out. See how black that is? It's gross. I'm going to do that till it starts coming clean. Does it get all of it out? No. You can still usually visually see some gummed up stuff. Grab a Q-tip, clean it out. It's alright. Alright, hopefully you can see. Now, there is a little O-ring holding this rotor solid. You probably don't need to put it back. I've put the other ones back when I have done the rest of the brakes on this Jeep, so I'm going to go ahead and put this one back. But there's a little groove in this hub, and I grab a pick and kind of roll it out without ripping it, and then just peel it off. Now that O-ring's out, that's kind of what holds this rotor steady outside of the rust. Because the rust also helps hold it steady. Now if you're in Arizona like I used to live, it's super easy, just wham and it comes off. Doesn't work in South Dakota like that. So we grab our hammer and you're just going to kind of beat it. I usually hammer a few times going in and then I flip it around and I come out. Watch your caliper over here. There we go. Pretty sure I felt it break loose. Not necessarily. Oh, roll it over, because you can't get anywhere with the heat shield. You only have this one, ouch, area to hammer on. So you might have to roll it a little bit so you can keep hammering. Or, there you go. Got lucky on that one. All right, so now, as hopefully you can see, all this is rusty. That's what seizes together. That's why I have to hammer them off. So we're gonna take a wire brush and zing that, for the most part, clean. Breathe deep. And once you're kind of done, I do some brake clean, get the rest of the dust off, and whatever else wants to fall off. All right, next thing you can do that I know you've seen me do in the past is, if you want to, you can coat this with a thin slice of anti-seize in hopes of it not seizing together next time. I did not on the backs when I did those a couple weeks ago, but I'm going to do it on the fronts. Why, you ask? I don't know, because that's the decision I made today. Literally, that is about the extent of the brains on that. Just felt like it, okay? Okay, we are now going to take our rotor and slide this into place. If you have anti-seize on your hands, be very careful not to get any on the surface of the rotor. So it just fell over. That's seemingly the purpose of this O-ring, is to keep it from doing that. So we're going to slide this O-ring back on. I would much rather this type of O-ring than the stupid clips that go on the studs. Those things suck. I don't really know how to tell if it's in all the way, other than it's there. So there's that. So now at this point, we can go ahead and mount our caliper bracket again. Alright, so our caliper bracket, we're going to kind of slide into place. And once you get it into place, you can thread your bolt back on. I'm going to start with one and then do the other. I'm just going to get it to where it's threaded, then I want to stop. Can you guys see? How about that? Once I know that one's on, I'm going to go to the bottom, do the same thing. And then you can torque them home to whatever manufacturer specification is, which I will try and put on your screen so that you can have it. Don't take my word for it. If torque specs mean the world to you, go look it up on the manufacturer, or go look it up yourself, because I'm just taking it from Google and putting it there for you. So I have no idea if that's accurate. I'd like to think it is, but what I'd like to think and reality are two very different things. Alright, so they're both snug. Now I want to torque it to what feels good, which probably equates to just a little bit more than the factory torque spec, I bet you. So those are in. Now I gotta clean the caliper slide pins. So these slide pins, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna brake clean, use a towel, clean all the old grease off, and then apply new grease. I'll be back. Alright, so I'm going to just do a nice gentle coat of grease on this slide pin. I have learned not to goop up the end, because that just shoves it into the end there and it's pointless, and then it actually keeps you from being able to compress your pads as much as you need to. So if that's coated, I'm just going to kind of work it into the hole. Oy. Okay. Well, that's stiff enough. We might actually want to go back and drill this out. Sometimes it gives you a false illusion, because this end is rubber too and it doesn't slide good. Which might be part of the point, I don't know. Stick that in there. There we go, latched onto the boot, so that's all good. At this point, we're ready for our brake caliper hardware, which goes, or our brake sliding hardware. So this is going to go, this goes down like so, and it rides inside. Get it nice and set. This will be the opposite way, like this. Sorry, like this. Get it set up in place. And then my brake pads came with a squealer on all four corners, which is annoying when they squeal, but that's how you know they're done, I guess. But we're gonna get in these. I like to start them kind of sideways. I also like to be able to see what I'm doing and I can't, and then kind of twist them in. That's usually how I get them in. This is going up apparently, because that's where it ended up. Again, just get them in there without bending your bracketry. Don't want to bend all your bracketry. Come on. There we go. Okay, those are in. All right, now we can put her caliper back on. But before we do that, we want to grease her up a little bit. So put this back up here. Again, I don't know what's proper and whatnot. I think I'm gonna have to replace these calipers or rebuild them. The other side was all chipped up. This side is too. But for today, we're putting them back on. So anyway, what I have found in my experience is I just grease everything that touches the back of the pad on the brakes, on the brake pad. So that's these ears here, that's these ears, and then the piston surfaces. Since I've been doing it that way for the last several whiles, it's been working out just fine. Now when this goes back on, remember you got to find your bleeder screw, which is up here, and that always goes up. There's a lot of jokes online about people doing it wrong, but it's not a funny matter. Alright, now we're going to twist that so we can slide it in. You might have to push in the bottom one, you might have to twist it a little bit too, like so. And then we can get our little screws to line up. Bottom one in as well. So we're going to get that one snug, go to the bottom one, we're going to snug that. Always snug them both before you torque either. So once they're both snug, you can torque them to specs, which I will try to put on the bottom of your screen. If you're not torquing them, don't go crazy. These are little tiny bolts. Hi-ya, let's do a tire. Okay, so now we're going to kind of push this back straight. I'm going to grab my tire. Oh, throw this up here. Where is it? Right there. Okay, now that she's back on the ground, we're going to go down here. Oh, pop this hood up. And so right now you may be over full. You're probably over full if you did not evac any of this before. So right now you probably want to suck a little bit of it out. Or before you suck it out, I'm sorry. Get in the driver's seat, hit the brakes a few times, and get all that extra space to fill up the in the pistons. So compress the pistons so that your brake pads are on your rotors. And then come over here, check your fluid, and if you're good, you're good. If you're low, add some. If you're still over full, take some out with a turkey baster or whatever you got to do that with. And then put your lid on, and then you are good to go for a drive. Now on this drive, you want to bed in your brakes. So every manufacturer has a different way of doing that. Some of them don't give you any instructions, which presumably means you don't need to bed them in. I don't know that for a fact. I bed in all my brakes. The way I do that is I follow the manufacturer's instructions if they sent some. So some I've bought in the past, it's go up to 30 miles an hour and lightly brake, and then do that like 10 sometimes. Other manufacturers like these ones, they want you to get up to like 45 miles an hour and brake down to 15 miles an hour, and then back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I got a whole process. What I'm trying to say is look up the instructions for the pads and rotors you purchased. Don't just go off of what I do. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go do that now. Guys, remember, I will link parts and tools down below. If you click the link, I make money. If you click the link and buy stuff, I make money, which inspires more projects. Not only inspires more projects, but it inspires me filming the projects for you because, you know, cash motivates. So keep buying stuff. Guys, leave a comment, leave a thumbs up. In your comment, just let me know how you're doing today. If you don't have a question related to the video, just tell me how you're feeling. Not how you're feeling, I don't care about your feelings. Just tell me how you're doing, what you're working on, what project you got in the garage. Whatever you want to say, just comment down below. Helps the algorithm. Yeah, I'll see you later. Adios.